Probably the hardest build I've ever done so far. But it is the difficulty that makes you better, makes you stronger. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I needed a gold farm, and so let's go through the journey of how I got to this masterpiece. So ultimately, with having gold, you can have your gold ingots, which can then be, you can get some quartz, you get string, be able to access some leather, obsidian, and each of these different items. So these are all important things that I need to add to my farm. And if I can have a gold farm, I can have access to much more of these items, at least something that I can work with. And it all starts with having the gold. It becomes a question, how and which farm are you going to use? And honestly, I have gold fever. It is so crazy to think about all the gold and what you can do with gold and how long you AFK and how you work with that. But honestly, more gold, the better, because then the more items that you can barter and you can work with. And there's so many good options out there. So you, when I did some research, I ran into a lot of different things that were fairly confusing. Gold farms are nerfed now, and what do I choose? So with that, I looked at several different options. There is the classic non-bombs gold farm, which is really a classic, and a lot of the designs are based off of that. There is C5's gold farm, which uses a llama to do aggro. And then I ran into another farm that seemed like it was, there was other farms that talk about Nico is lost, where he optimized the gold farms that was kind of Goldilocks. I ran into Potato Noir, and that is the gold farm that I chose. And he had a great series, which I will put down in the description, that I use. And it all started with building the different farm. And so probably the thing that captured my attention the most was that it said the cheapest gold farm you can get. So there's two options for his gold farm. First option is pretty basic. You use soul sand, you light it up, and then you've got yourself a nice setup for where the zombie piglins will be the only ones that appear. And that's cool. But when I did his world download, which, by the way, I have not forgotten about the world download. But anyways, the world download actually shows that version, and I'll just actually show you that real quick. And you can see there the farm itself is just absolutely beautiful to look at. But stepping on that thing without Frostwalker boots, I don't know. It wasn't that great. And besides, I've got gold fever, and gold fever says you need as much gold as possible. So with that, the second option is using magma blocks, which he also had a magma block farm. So I went ahead and built that. So let me go ahead and let's take a look at these different things. And this is all about gold, so let's focus on gold. But I highly recommend his videos because he put a lot of work into it. So this is his magma block farm, and I'll be honest, this is pretty awesome. When I just AFK'd for a couple different nights in preparation for the farm, it worked out pretty good. So the key thing here is all of the berries down here at the bottom, and that's what kills these guys. The one thing that I found in the video that I would recommend is, if you do this farm, is I would set the berries down first and leave an opening on one of the walls, specifically the one where the chest is over here. This chest, you can see, put a nice little wall here. You can walk right through that. Put your berries, bone meal them so that way you have your berries. So they're dangerous and will kill these guys. And then continue with the rest of the farm. This is a good farm. Highly recommend it. And I was able, like I said, a couple nights, I was able to get myself plenty of magma blocks and be able to set that up. As I said, this is probably the most complicated project that I have ever done, and the results are great. But if it wasn't for people like Potato that puts together all of these different tutorials, it really wouldn't happen. So, first off, any comments I have is no shade to you. This is just really hard to put together, and the amount of details that goes into this, you did a great job. And as he said, if you're building this, he said read the instructions. So don't be like me, read the instructions. So earlier I said that it's all about this aggro based farm that you get the piglins upset at the llama and they all want to attack it. And then they all fall down to these four portals, and that is where the magic happens. Potato does describe this farm in great detail, why you do this, and honestly, this is similar to what C5 said about what he could do. He said that he struck gold and he didn't need portals and he didn't need boat loading. And that is true. But this is still awesome. I learned quite a bit about this. And at the end of this, I'm going to talk a little bit about some tricks, different things that I learned about this. If you're interested in building the farm, you could watch that, and hopefully that helps you a little bit more. Read the instructions, and this will go very well for you. There was three major phases, and the pure amount of layers in this is extremely complicated. So this is all the spawning area, and there's a skirt up here that helps block off these areas, and this is where we have access to the llama. And honestly, I should probably put that glass down there. That would be smart. But I'm going to show you how I do this. So, you got a chest for snowballs, any items that you have there. You just hop down the ladder here, and let's see here. All right, so what you do is you aim your snowball at this guy, and then you try to get him in line here, so that way you can work with this. So, you know, this isn't my best technique. Let's see this. So he gets mad at you, holding shift, so I don't fall down. Just kind of hit him until I think that did it. Let's make sure. Nope. Come on. Come and get him. No, you gotta hit the pigs. Now I'm out. What, that didn't even hit him? Just try to get him to randomly hit. Come on, man. There. Now they're upset. So in here, we have a basic system that is going to push items down into this ice blocks and push all the items in here. So I might come back and put a different switch for this, but this will power that, and that will get it started. So I'm not going to do too much right now. Let's come down here. And so I do not have the shulker boxes yet, but that will come up later. That's the next farm. I have to get shulker boxes because this is kind of silly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of how many gold blocks that we get and probably time this for some short time. using the recommended sword, if you can get the highest level of swipe, if you can get mending, and if you can get looting 3, you have yourself a pretty good sword. And there's different options suggested. You can use something like I think it was like S carpet, but I haven't gotten into that. And sometimes I just go through armor stands. So I went ahead and repositioned it in there. So what you want is to get up close. About somewhere around here is fine. And you can already see the gold happening. So I'll go ahead and start over. Just start the timer. There was a little bit of fixing time, but I am going to just see what this is like after, let's just say 5 minutes, and we can do some math from there. So starting that timer now. All right, that's done. Let's go ahead and take a look at then turning this off. So currently I am running, starting to get hungry, and that'll cause me problems later, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. So as you can see, all the experience is just still filling me up with levels, and this will go on for a while. So use the cactus. You can just use that as a little lint collector and just walk up to the cactus, and it can wipe that off a little bit, and that helps. So already you can see I've got a bunch of nuggets, and I've got some stuff there, so that's very helpful. All right, so let's go down. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's turn it off real quick. The farm is like, there's just going to continue to spawn here, which is exactly what you want, but it's also annoying. Okay, so little drum roll. Right now it's going down through here. There's a shocker box loader, but I'm not using that yet. So it all comes down here, and what do we have? We have 0. Did I not wire this up right? Oh. Okay, so that setup was great. I'm so glad I set this up. So, all right, so this is not going to work as is. So yeah, we'll change that. And another reason why I need shulkers. All right, so in here I've got 1 stack and 17. So we do a little bit of math on this. So yeah, so this is, let's just say that this is a stack, 1.25 stacks. I think that's how the math works. So we'll take 1.25 times 12, and that would make 15 stacks of gold. So we take 15 stacks, we multiply that guy by let's go back. Let's see. So we got 15 stacks. We'll do that to gold. That puts me at 960. Right now, that's it seems like I'm off a little bit on what I was hoping to make, but I'm not doing anything with having precision with the way that I'm doing this. But still, close to 1,000 is pretty good. And I'm going to have to investigate why I'm not getting the 1,400 as advertised. It most likely is something that I did with the setup and some different things that is going on there. I'm still happy with the results. Close to 1,000. That's not quite what I was hoping for, which at the start of this video is what I was really aiming for. I'm sure that there's something that I did wrong with this farm. Maybe there's something off on somewhere in the system, but a small sample size like that doesn't really give an accurate picture either. So Either way, I can be happy with 1,000 blocks of gold. Otherwise, yeah, this is a pretty cool system. So next up, I'm going to show a little bit of tips and tricks about this. There is, Potato has put together a great video. Again, check that out if you're interested in building a similar farm to this, because it is really good. So I'll tell you right off the bat, the very first thing you need to be ready for is, basically you need to be prepared to die a lot. Yeah, just take a look around here. So yeah, there's no way around this, unless you just have nerves of steel. So, like, again, first tip is just go to controls, and just change this to be toggled on. If things are not working the way you expect, you probably are holding shift. So, that that is that's the first tip. The second tip, and you're going to see this all when you're reading the directions. And so, like, the first thing is, you need to find another. Well, the first thing is you got to get on the nether roof. The first video that Potato had talks about it, and fairly simple. Just need some ender pearls, and boom, you can get up there. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but in here you do have your portals. So getting this pattern down is pretty critical, and once you follow that, just make sure that you have it right. The center line does kind of line up, based off of the left corner, and so keeping things centered is pretty good. You can see that, like, here's the left corner here, there's the left corner there, and so on. So this is the exact middle. So that's where the llama is going to be. And so this little offset is like that. The next thing is there's a lot of discussion about what direction you're working in. And so I had a lot of a terrible time trying to set up this farm. And so there is talk about the east and west line. And so I'll point to this in a bit, but this is pointing south. And so this is pointing west. So there's talk about the east and west line in here. So, currently, if you go this way, this line right here is going north and south, and then this is the west, east, and west line. So currently I'm facing west, as you can see there, but I think what is critical is you start by working with the east portal. Ultimately, this is the best option, because what you want to do is get all the portals to hook up. And so the platform is on the west side. So yeah, so with this being on the east side, if this portal maps out to the platform that is over on, up there, that they all run through, then you're golden. So don't go through the west one, go through the east one, and that will set up that portal. And I'll show you the aftermath of what happened there. And so once you go through these portals, you'll end up going into some place. And the first thing you're going to work with is making sure it's the right biome, and he talks about that. Ultimately, though, you'll end up breaking the you'll end up breaking the portal. And so there's some math that you need to do on this, and it's covered pretty well. So you figure out what the block is in the one area, and so once you figure out where the east facing portal is, you find out what that coordinate is. You multiply that by 8, since the nether and the overworld are it's a difference of 8 blocks. And so from there, you can build your different tower. I'm mentioning this because many people had, like myself, went through and built the portal in the wrong spot. So I started from the west portal and I did my calculations. That calculation took me to this pillar, and so that set me up to not be able to link the portals. So I had to do this twice. It was not fun. But as a memorial, here is the first spot where I built the portal. And we'll we'll just try to forget about that. Uh, yeah, so this is the little tower where you continue to aggravate the poor zombie piglins because they have not had enough pain and suffering. And so, yeah, you build it up here. I did have a hard time trying to get this center boat set up where it's being attacked. So I personally just set this up a little bit further. It just had 3 blocks wide here for the row of boats. And on this one, just scooted it up a little bit more forward. And then I didn't have any problems. Some people did, and some people didn't. So I don't know. But that was my experience. Okay, so here's the boat loading setup. I've got it all hooked up. I put 24 boats into here, took through a hopper to a dispenser. So just one thing to do is just once you break the block, put the obsidian back. So that way you can work with that. It wasn't obvious to me, even though I should have thought of that. But you see that we've got our boats put in. So once we light the portal here, just go off to the side, they magically disappear. And so they're now waiting for us on the other side. So in the later versions, you just want to throw your pearl to go outside away from where where the boats are. Any kind of movement can send them shooting away. So that was lucky. So that puts me away from that. You hopefully get well away from it and not risk it. But any movement will cause this to go away. So on this side, the side that we're going to put the boats for the first one, go ahead and put in, break 2 blocks and put in a fence post. So I found that 2 fence posts made a difference for this. These didn't get aligned and they were just in a weird position and didn't work quite the same. So you can use the piston. You can see that these are lined up all exactly the same. Then you can piston this once, use a temporary block, and you can see that the boats move in there. And so there we go. We now have the boats positioned where we want it, so we can get rid of this fence post and put the obsidian back. And if it's not obvious, you need to take your llama and you need to make sure they are tame first. That's the only way to keep them from despawning. And so just one way to do that is take like hay bales, feed them, and they'll eat 5 of those, which, man, those guys are hungry. And yeah, then with your offhand, just hop on and for those hearts, and now you have a tame llama. This guy will not disappear on you, so then don't look at there. This guy won't despawn on you. That is the best way to ensure your llama doesn't disappear. And then yeah, you can just get them in the boat and put them in the chamber. And the last thing that I recommend on this in world download, using that as an example. If you got questions about where different Y levels are, it's very easy to do a comparison. Just go into use creative mode. You can do some different comparisons and make sure that you've got it set up the same. Very helpful over here on for the platforms, and also for this world up here where you can see everything. Just double checking that you've got the same setup and everything for the different collection systems and how all this stuff works. So highly recommended and very helpful. And then use the Discord channel if you have more questions. A lot of just doing a search, you can find different things on the how to set this up. So some different things on the Ender Pearl gave me some good hints there. If I read the directions, that also helps. So all of those things together makes a really good way to build this farm. So with that, that's the gold farm. This has probably been one of the most difficult builds I've ever made. I really enjoyed it. I think I learned a lot about setting up the portals and how to get those things connected. Been playing around with how to improve the click speed with the method that I've been using, which is something on the command line, and just trying that out. Otherwise, just trying these different things. So the levels on this is incredible, just how fast you can level up from just running the gold farm. And now that I have that, I can make some golden carrots. I can do a lot of different things. The next thing on my list is making a shulker farm. It's going to be probably a whole new challenge, but also well worth being able to put together a shulker boxes and build out these different systems that are much larger in capacity. That shulker boxes is the only way to go. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be fun. I'm going to try to do some invisibility potions and things so that way it's easier to work with them, and we'll see. Otherwise, it's just been a fun project. Again, I highly recommend looking at Potato and Yours Gold Farm. Follow the instruction. The tutorial is very good. Like all things, it's hard to do a tutorial, so look at the Discord channel, read the instructions really well, and you'll be able to build a gold farm too. Very exciting stuff. Until next time, have a great day. But basically you whack. What the heck? Why did that? That's dangerous. And with that, then I can just do the exact same thing. Bada bing. And once we have all our boats in there, we're good to go again. So just go ahead and light that portal. And it does that. Great. And we can activate the portal, and that sends the boats through. And there's a couple different ways that we can do this. If you walk through this portal, you're going to end up on the boats, which I'll show you this way, and then I'll show you the another way, which is just pointing the portal through here. So you walk through this, and that wasn't what it was supposed to do.